Mike. I wonder. Hell no. Take me under. No. Hello, everybody, and happy Saturday to you. You know we do love our theme song because, again, if we rule the world, what would really happen? So thank you, everybody who is joining us live, and thank you for those of you who are joining us on Radio Region. As usual, we will introduce ourselves in alphabetical order.
Hello. So my name is Garcia, and I'm super excited to be here to chat with my girlfriends here on Not Your Typical Girl Talk.
Hey, my name is Telly. I'm also a proud member of the very famous girl group at Not Your Typical Girl Talk. Boom, shakalaka. And I am so happy to be here. As usual, we always bring the flavor. We always bring the juice. You know it. You don't want to admit it, but you know it's true.
You know that's right.
Boom, boom.
It's always so hard for me to follow Telly.
Ultimate hype woman.
I hype my girl. We are it. The supreme.
She's like the hype.
She's
like the hype man. Like she's everybody's good hype man. If you need a hype man, please reach out to us and ask for Telly, because Telly can be anybody's hype man. And I am Toshiba. I am the final member of Not Your Typical Girl Talk. If you are not following us on all of our social medias, what the hell have you been doing? Girl. Do it right now. Follow us on all our social medias at Not Your Typical Girl Talk on Facebook, Instagram, and we also are on YouTube. Thank you for those who are listening to us in Radio Region and those of us who will be joining live. Now, this week, we are going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Yes. And I'm just going to say the title, and I want you ladies to think about what you think about once you hear this title. So the title of this week's show is The Hidden Cost of Blackness. What comes to mind when you hear that?
Losing my identity as a Black person. You know, it's like I'm going to trade my skin and my flavor and everything that makes me a proud Black woman and giving all that to you so you can give me a check. Which is like, okay, great, I have this money, but you're taking me now as a Barbie doll and saying, look at this Black girl, look at her dance. It's like I'm back in like the days of it's like I'm back in the days of like, that alfalfa and little buckwheat. He was only in it, and they made little buckwheat look like a little voodoo doll. Like his hair, they treat the poor little boy so bad. And that's what I think of when I come, giving up my identity, my Blackness for a check.
Ooh, for me, it is very much of, like, as soon as I think about that, and it's funny because Sean King posted something recently on his Instagram that sort of echoed, my thoughts behind it. But immediately I think about the idea of not being paid for your Blackness. People making the most money off Blackness are non-Black people.
Are not Black.
No. And the thing is, I thought of, and I brought this up with on Sean King's post, was this reminds me of James Brown. Mm-hmm. Now, everyone out there who doesn't know James Brown, young people, get out to he is the originator of Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And he made a lot of money for a lot of people as a musician.
He sure did.
But a lot of the times in his early career, they paid him with Cadillacs.
Yep.
Not money, but cars.
Yeah.
Cars depreciate in value. You don't want to get paid with cars. You want to get paid with money.
Money.
Because trust and believe, his manager and everybody else was getting money. But he was getting paid in cars.
Yep.
So when I hear the hidden cost of Blackness, to me it means Black people, we are worthy, we have value, but the only people that are making money off of that value are non-Black people.
Yep.
That's what it means to me.
And I love that because you guys have actually bridged the gap in terms of what I hear. I think it's very interesting because I agree with you. A lot of the times we have to sacrifice the things that are very near and dear to us for that check, right? And that is giving up so much of our Blackness, our culture, because, hey, in order for me to take this route, the easiest way is to get, say, sponsorship from a company, but by getting sponsorship from the company, I know that they're going to strip me of everything that potentially makes what I'm trying to do blackity black, 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 blackity black, black, black.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Right. That is it.
So it's like it's almost like, what do I do? Do I keep this authentic? So we think about Toronto and Caribana, right? You know, for those of us old enough to remember Caribana in its infancy, when it used to be on University Avenue, and I came to Canada, Toronto in 1989. So Caribana was probably around for about 20 years ish by the time I got there. But when it was around, it was on University Avenue, ladies. You remember, and you were free to dance in the street. It was amazing. Everybody's integrated. It was just amazing. Like it, you know, as a Jamaican, it was something for me that was like, oh my God, this is a taste of home. And you said it best on our planning call. Then they moved it to Lakeshore, had to get the white people's money, get the sponsorship, and then they put barricades up as if we were animals that they needed to keep in cages, away from something that we originated and created.
Exactly.
Je ne comprends pas.
Exactly. It was it's sad. How do you go from celebrating our culture, dancing in the streets, everyone coming together,
very inclusive, making it very
inclusive,
very accepting, other people really learning about Black culture through seeing the parade and how we celebrate our Blackness, our culture, how the Caribbeans came from, from Caribbean, they came from the Caribbean and brought this to a country that didn't have anything. Right.
Like immigrants built Canada.
Right. We
brought the flavor here. There was no flavor in Canada before. And it's very dry that they took that because of our same people. We're like, yeah, okay, this is great, but we also need money to keep this going. And instead of negotiating properly to say, okay, look, you can give us, your donation, but we still want to keep our culture within our culture. We still want to have University Avenue. We still want to have Black people holding these, prosperous roles. But instead, we take the money and then we allow them to push us into the corner of a closet, basically. But
you know what, though? Everything you said there made
in a pig pen.
It brought me a thought, though, because I'm going to play devil's advocate right now. Whose fault is it?
Oh, it's our own. Okay. I'm not saying that because
it's completely ours.
Because at the same time, no one had a gun to our head.
Take the L. We got to take the L.
Exactly. No one put a gun to our head. No one said, oh, you better give me full reign of Caribana or I'm going to waste you. No one said that to us. We willingly gave it up, or the people at the top gave that up. And it's sad.
Here's the best part. Sorry, Kirsty, to cut you, but I want to get to something that Telly said, and it's that word negotiate.
Yes.
Right? That is a key word. Here's the thing. We saw Caribana for the first time in 52 years, 52, 53, I might be off, whatever, year history, get canceled for the first time because of COVID.
Right. Yep.
Now, Caribana brings in millions and millions. And I got to look back up at the stat. Yeah. It's either 40 million or 400 million. Let me get that right for the audience.
People come from
think about what a negotiation tool that is. So I'm sitting at a table and I'm the head of the Caribana committee and you're the head of Scotiabank or whatever bank owned now. And they say, well, in order to continue your cute little festival, you're going to have to pause. Like we don't have a festival anymore. Now think about what that says, because if I'm a Scotiabank or TD or I'm sitting down with, and they say, okay, well, I guess it's done. There will be no more Caribana. Consider this our last year. I hope your hotels and everything can continue to find a way to plug the hole that Caribana fills over a weekend when it's making you buku dollars.
Okay.
Now, I don't think that happened. And because that didn't happen, they were able to take our festival and, as you said, put up these barriers and make us feel like bulls in pig pens. Sorry,
Exactly.
Garcia, I know you had a point, but I had to say that, man.
And I fully agree with all of that. I do think that the problem is that, and we talk about the word boundaries on here all the time.
We do.
So anyone that listens to us regularly, you've heard the word over and over again.
Yes.
And you have to come to a point as a Black person, or hey, even if you are an Hispanic,
400 million. Sorry, it's 400 million. $400 million.
Okay, there you go, right?
All of that.
Even if you are Hispanic, you are indigenous, whatever you are, and you come from a rich culture,
right?
That's got a whole thing going on. You have to ask yourself, how much do I value my culture? How much do I value it? Do I value it to the point where I'm willing to sell something off, take my money, and not care about what they do with the culture? Or are you the person that's going to set up boundaries and say, listen, we are so grateful that you would like to partner with us. This is why people fly from all over the world to come here.
Exactly.
The rich culture. So these are the things that we always have to keep in mind and have a list of all of the things that we need to keep in mind to keep Caribana rich in culture. And as long as you agree to these terms, we can begin to speak, but don't even talk about how much you're going to give us until we guarantee that we're going to get these needs. And the reason why I say that is because I know of other organizations that have been able to do it. You know, I mentioned to you guys BPTN, the Black Professionals in Tech Network.
Right.
They are partnered with TD Bank, TD Canada Bank. And they were able to get this partnership and still keep it very Black, as in when the founder goes up on the stage and he makes his call out to his Nigerian brethren, he is full Nigerian. People are popping it. You know what I mean? And then he's like, and now, you know, here are some of the people on my committee, and Jamaica comes out, Jamaica, and people, you know, doing their thing, Jamaica. People are going, and these are Black professionals of Canada. So these are all very, you know, prominent people in their industry, whatever industry they work in, but they are given the allowance to be their version of Black. If they have purple hair, you know how we do, even in corporate settings, it's like, I'm going to have my purple hair. I'm going to have my green hair. I'm going to have my weave. I'm going to have my braids. I'm going to have my shaved head. However you perceive yourself, you're going in there, and they are given the allowance to be who they are.
Exactly.
And every time I go, I commend TD Bank. I'm like, whoever sat at the negotiation table,
man, maybe the Caribana should hire them
because they are, and I hope it never changes. I hope, you know, the thing is too, when you have the real founder versus people that have just stepped in, sometimes
something.
But I do hope that it stays the same, because people are here for this event, whether it be Caribana or any, you know, Black History Month type of event. People are there because it's a Black event.
Right.
So when they go there, they expect to see Black.
Well, we talked about this in our planning call. Like, whenever you go to, you know, Salsa on St. Clair.
Right.
You expect to see some Spanish flavor. You expect to
I want to see merengue.
You want to see people dancing in the streets and celebrating.
And are they
Latino?
Are they behind bars? Are they behind bars when they're salsaing? Because I'm gonna go guess no.
They're not.
And I bet you,
and
that will never happen, because they make an emphasis on the fact that, look, a part of you know, Hispanic culture is being able to go out in the street and dance. They're not gonna give that up. That is, you know, that is something they're not gonna give up. They would never
give that up.
Never allow to say, okay, people that come to this have to stand behind
that's
a thing.
Okay.
And then pay to watch from up high.
Yep. And that's the dry part. They will not give up their culture to dance in the streets and to celebrate their culture in that way. We got floats. We got mass of up to 500 people
per
band, and we're okay with this, giving that up to march in some British Columbia Avenue, not even all of it,
and that's
a
why,
little cup of it,
and that's why for me, I'm sorry, but you know, I am really going to be the person here that says shame on the Black people that are on that committee that have decided they are going to give up to be honest, it would be better they lessen the amount of floats and have the
It would be
parade
better,
where everyone
and
else
continue
has
with
it.
it being on University Avenue. Like, do whatever to do to condense it, but keep it out of the little pig pen
Santa
they put us
Claus, Pride, all of these, they get to stay on the main line of Toronto.
in. Why are we in the closet?
Because we are making horrible negotiating.
Exactly. Like you said, like sometimes unfortunately a lot of people come in, like there are board members and they're like, well, we want what's best for the culture, and they think in their mind, well, money runs the world, so they take the deal. And not only do they take the money, they now have the beautiful Black woman wearing masks on the poster, looking fabulous, and then you now as a tourist are saying, oh yes, I'm gonna go and have a great time. You get there and you're realizing you're in prison because there's these bars, and surprised that they don't have I'm surprised they're not electric. When you touch it, you fall flat on your back like because you're in prison. And
Listen, Linda.
That's what happens. And now the poor tourist is there like with a septic shock. I don't know what happened. I went to Carabana in Toronto and I have nerve damage now. All these guys, they sold us out, you know? And then the dry part too. You now as a little vendor, just trying to get your business out to the world, they slap a big old price on you to sell your little food.
To sell your little ginger beer.
Girl.
Here's the thing, and I think Garcia brought up a good point, and I want to ask this question because we talked about it on the planning call. When we look at the history of an event like Carabana and we look at the BBTN, do you think youth plays a factor in the ability for them to retain? Because I feel like this new generation just is not having it.
Not taking it, girl.
And
yes,
you know,
so true.
And
so true.
I
Good
do
point.
Agree. Totally. It has everything to do with age.
Absolutely.
I believe, to be honest with you, 50 years old and younger, it's a different playing field. It's different. You know, for me, for instance, a lot of stuff where I'm like, that's not okay.
Right.
That's stuff that my parents put up with, my grandparents, whatever. They all put up with that foolishness. But we came along and we're like,
no.
Nah.
That ain't it.
No.
Exactly.
No, boo.
No.
Exactly.
No. And these younger ones coming up,
they're like,
they even look like,
no. Like what we saw happened with the George Floyd case.
Right.
People were not, the whole world protested.
Like
the whole world protested.
When we had, the LA,
Yeah, with
Rodney King. That was something.
Oh yeah.
That was huge. That was major.
Yes.
But then, and we thought that was like, whoa. But this generation came and overdid that by getting the entire planet involved.
Yep, everyone got
people
involved.
in France were marching. People in Finland were marching.
Everywhere.
When I saw the Amish come out,
girl,
the Amish don't do nothing but churn their butter and mind their business. The Amish came out. I was like, this new generation, y'all, I'm a bow down.
And I would
be bow down.
They found out about it if they don't have no TV. But anyways,
they got cell phones. Maybe I don't know if they have cell phones. Maybe they do.
One of those Amish
person listening. I don't know how you're listening.
One of those Amish people probably backslid and have like a TV.
However, please message us at Non-Typical Girl Talk and let us know how you found out.
They know what I'm saying. Like, it is such a new and interesting place, and I question if that is the case, and we think youth has something to do with this. That these old guards need to give up their ranks and bringing new fresh blood, because the reality is, if I'm sitting at the table with Scotiabank or whomever, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're done. Because you are about to lose. Because listen, Toronto is reeling from the $400 million that it lost. And the Carabana might be a month, but it's really a week-long thing and a weekend thing. Yes. So they're making a brunt of their money from the Thursday to the Monday. of that weekend. I know people who will check out on the Monday and rebook for the next year. They're like, I just want to reserve to make sure that I have a hotel room to stay in Toronto. That is not happening with the Taste of the Danforth. That is not happening with Salsa on St. Clair. That probably is not even really happening with the Gay Parade. And I might be wrong about that one, but the other two, definitely that is not happening. And so you have an event that you know brings in so much money, and somehow you've let this corporation change its name. I don't even know what it's called now. Scotiabank something.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know what it's called now.
No one even knows what it's called.
I guess it's a mess, girl.
And the thing is that, you know, right now more than ever, we all talk about, you know, especially this month, a lot of people are talking about, you know, what are the most serving ways for the community to celebrate Blackness? You know, what isn't coming across as just condescending, performative? You know, what is going to actually serve the community? And Caravana has that ability to do that. Caravana makes a lot of money for, you know, unfortunately, I do not know of any Black-owned hotels in Toronto. Sadly, so I don't think we're making now some,
and that's another,
which is a totally other thing.
Shiva's face. She's like, listen, that's another podcast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But right now, we need things that are going to serve the community. That's it. And if we have something called Scotiabank, I don't even know what it's called.
Scotiabank presents
Goodbye
Festival.
Yes,
what does that even?
I think that was it.
What does that even mean? Who is Scotiabank? Like, people coming from, you know, people coming from Vancouver,
people from the States, they don't care who Scotiabank is.
People coming from Trinidad, they don't know what that means.
Because everyone I talk to, they still call it Caravana.
It is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it's been. It's been that.
And people in the West Indies can keep their name. If Juve is still Juve, okay, explain to me why in a big city like Toronto, it's Scotiabank presents anything. Why are you presenting anything when I need you for present nothing? We've been presenting. Okay?
And
girl, all of that,
you know, and there does it. And the thing is now, what is the cost to get it back? You know, how do we get Scotiabank out of there?
That part right there. How?
Because to be honest with you, you think Scotiabank is going to let go of something like
that?
Are
they still? That's a good question.
I don't even know Scotiabank.
I want to know. I'm going to look it up now because I would like to know. I don't think they're even a part of it anymore. I think they actually. So, I'm going to look it up right now.
You know, again, when you're doing anything, those values matter. Those values matter. For instance, we have this show. Some dude in a suit with white hair could come along and be like, ladies, I want to give you $50 million to up this show, for this show. We're going to put it out here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you're going to have this much for your wardrobe. And you're going to have this much for it. And it's like, okay, let's talk about how the show is going to go.
Yeah. What's the cost of this?
What is the cost? Right?
What are we giving up?
A lot.
What are we giving up? Right?
We can't be as black as we are. Let's just say that. That ain't gonna work.
And unfortunately, there's still this misconception that if something is too black, it won't be ethnic, urban. It won't be able to be mass desired.
Don't even get me started.
And I've heard people talk about this, even up to the other day when I was watching this one video, and a Black girl, she's an influencer, and she said, yeah, you know, like, I have to, you know, I can't just come in and say, as a Black woman, my opinion is this. She has to come in and say, just, you know, as a person, as a woman.
She's taking the devil's money. That's what the problem is. And here's the thing about it, you know, and that's the question we have to ask, because I think we're all creatives here, right? We are all creatives. And I know someone said to me this week, as we were talking about my book, that there's stuff that I say in that book that if I were not self-publishing, for damn sure, I would not be able to say in my book, because the PC and the feminine brigade would come for me. And so therefore, to not come for my publisher, I would have to change my voice to please the mass.
Yeah.
But like how you ain't singing for everybody. Okay, your music ain't for everybody. If you're into country, then your music ain't for them. So you're not trying to appeal to a country genre. You're trying to appeal to your soulful R&B pop genre that you have.
Right.
I ain't trying to appeal to just everybody. My book is not written for just everybody. I call it No Handouts for Black Girls. It's very clear.
You're not Danielle Steele.
Even Danielle Steele's is not for the mass. I've never bought her book, and there are many people that have never bought it. But there are white housewives that do a lot of drinking in the daytime,
and they love that
have time, and they read 600-page books every day because they have time.
They got time.
They don't have to work.
We don't like the whole Harry Potter thing. But a lot of young people do.
But
kids ate up.
We often have to change our voices for that dollar bill, y'all. And the issue with that is, I think we've all said it already. And Garcia, I think you said it best in terms of when you go into that room, because I talk about in the book, we go in without a plan. And so whatever people give us, we're like, thank you so much, Massa. Thank you so much for accepting me and everything I got. I'll take your coins, Master, and I'll say what you want. Like, that's how we're walking in 2020, 2021 into rooms, especially as Black women, when we are the highest educated group at this point. The highest educated group. Black women are coming out of university and colleges in droves in higher numbers than any group of people, but we still go into situations, get a job offer, no negotiation. That influencer, I want you to sell my product and give you that, but you can't be too Black. Actually, I don't really want you to be I want you to be a person. No, I'm a Black person. I'm a Black woman. Like, what are you talking about? And so we don't negotiate because the almighty dollar, because when you have the people that have the almighty dollar, what was so interesting is, this is such an interesting point. I'm talking to my boyfriend yesterday, and we were talking about jobs and barriers to entry for jobs, right? And a lot of these jobs now in this economic time, because he's in the financial services, are asking people for credit reports. I'm going to pause on that for a second. So you can have all of the qualifications in the world, but you now are asking people for credit reports. Now, on the surface, what that says, if you just look on the surface, is it's a financial institution. Of course they want to know your credit score. That's actually not what it is. No. It's a barrier to entry. Because if you put two people beside each other, and unfortunately you put a white man with the same experience that my boyfriend has, and you put him, the reality is Mr. White Man is likely going to have a higher credit score. Not all the time, but I will go most of the time.
Old money.
Right? And so therefore, again, same credentials, but now you used your barrier to entry as a way to say, well, good job, but not good enough, because we found a way to get you out of giving you this X, and therefore we created a barrier to entry. That is what's happening now for certain situations, and I think we need to own it and say, like, if I'm at the Caravana helm, I'm like, okay, cool, I guess we won't have it in 2021 either.
That's it.
Or 2022.
That's you standing your ground and knowing what you have is of value. $400 million is a very
year.
Every year for that little month. But like you said, mostly just that week and that little weekend. 400 million.
I mean,
that number is, listen, anyone would bow down and say, you know what? Yes, Black people, we'll do whatever you want.
Right.
Just please make us be a part of this. And your rules will be first. We won't do anything. We just want our name attached to it.
The thing is, we have to start standing. We have to start standing up and start saying, we have to, start changing our dialect a bit here. We have comedians like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock who they're just so Black that sometimes I watch sometimes like the tambourine one,
Tambourine,
Chris Rock's Tambourine, who also had You know, he said the reason why certain hotels are $4,000 a night is to
the
keep
new
Black people out.
Prices are the new
barriers to entry.
Because you know, no Black person's gonna pay $4,000 a night.
Right. Not even a rich Black person would do that. But the thing is that they have decided, look, this is who I am, and you saw how many people came to my stand-up thing tonight. I sold out, and I sold out in minutes. So whatever you want from me, Netflix, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yep.
And this is the kind of content that I create. And if you don't like it, that's fine, because guess what? Crave, Hulu, whatever other streaming services are out there, and they need content too.
Lined up.
You know, Beyonce, I'm sure her record label did not, you know, fight with her when she's like, oh, we're calling this Black is King. We're going to call this Black is King, and it's all going to be about Africa and Blackness. Do you think they were like,
no.
In today's music industry where barely anyone's making the real good money anymore?
It's not the 90s anymore.
And people need to be paid. The receptionist needs to be paid.
Girl,
the janitor needs to be paid.
All that.
All of these other people need to be paid. They were like, okay, Beyonce, whatever. Why? Because
Black is King it is.
She stood, and that's the thing, you gotta stand. Being Black doesn't mean just throwing up your fist and saying, look at me and my natural hair.
That's like, no, it's more than that.
There is more going on than the outwardly
It's
physical.
you saying you're gonna sell out, or you're gonna stick to your guns and keep yourself, keep your Blackness.
Those values are what matters.
Because I'm sorry, but if you're gonna sell out, then you're no better. I look at you as like, you're not Black because you sold out.
You're actually worse.
You're worse. You're worse than the racist white person because you just sold out your Blackness.
Because creative control is everything.
It truly
That's it.
There is a reason Prince has his masters, because it is everything. To be able to, and again, us all being creatives, I know how important. I don't mind, you know, because again, you guys are reading my book. I've had plenty of people read my book before it goes out, and I will take it all. I will take all of the feedback. If you tell me it's structurally wrong, if you tell me this, if you tell me that, what I will not take is someone saying, well, change your voice.
No.
Change your voice.
No.
Change the way, change your tone, change your whatever. I can change the words. I can change the structure of the words. I can remove words. I can put flows together. But what I will not do is have you take complete creative control and say, oh no, you use vernacular that is speaking directly to Black women, and we need to make this more inclusive. And so therefore, we don't necessarily think, because that's the conversation I would be having with the publisher about my book.
Wow.
And y'all know, because you're reading it right now.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I'm thinking of, you know, that episode of Black AF where Tyler Perry was having a conversation with Kenya Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I am making movies for a selective,
for his people,
group of people. I am not out here to win the Oscar.
No.
I am not out here to get the Golden Globe. I am out here to provide work, money, and opportunities for my community.
People.
If I make this much money just off of my community, that is fine. I am not out here to impress everybody. I am not Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg has his audience.
Oh, yeah, he has his audience.
But I have mine. And more than ever now, we're learning more about the micro, the power of the micro, right?
Yeah.
And exactly. You do not have to be for everyone. Everyone has a sector. You know, books, even books, not all books are meant for everybody.
No,
as you were saying. Not all songs are meant for everyone. Not all YouTube channels are meant for everyone. There are some niches that are so niched, you will never hear of it. You know what I mean? You could be like a health, vegan, raw food, only eats fruit in season influencer. Like you
exactly.
So micro niched.
Like, horseback
there's
rider,
only 200 people that will ever look it up, but that's fine because that's
who they are.
Is those 200 people, because if those 200 people are following you and spending and doing what needs to be done, then that's what matters. And I think it's so interesting because you're so right. This idea of this mass appeal, and mass appeal requires selling out. I don't care how you spin it. That's what I'm going to call it. To have mass appeal requires you sell out so that you do not have an opinion that somehow is going to rock the boat. Right. And how many times do we hear that term, girl, don't rock the boat? That means do not show up in rooms as your authentic self because it will offend others. Don't look it up in Webster. I'm right.
Oh, that's true. It's all true.
It is true. In order to piss off no one,
you say nothing.
You say nothing.
You stand there with a smile, looking very nice and pretty, and just nod yes, massa, no, massa, and that's it. And that's how you gain money in this planet.
Yeah, and I do know that we've had an issue lately. The only thing I don't like about the times we're living in, this generation, is that we cannot agree to disagree. It's like if you say anything that doesn't flow with the norm, I bring up the cancel culture. I bring up
canceled.
Right. And it's like you can't have that opinion to think differently. And I think that's part of the problem. That's why people are like, this is why everyone needs to like us, because we don't want to have some people over here hating us. We need everyone to like us. But that's not how the world works. It's not real life. And it causes issues where we end up taking things suicidal, and filtering it out, taking out all the spice, taking out all the flavor, whatever that might be.
And you end up with potato salad with raisins in it.
Yeah.
And just season with salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Because of course salt and pepper seasons everything.
Right. You've never heard of ginger. Exactly, you've never heard of paprika. You've never heard of none of that. You never heard of powder. And this is what happens. So I do feel that we need to get back to respecting the beauty and the color and the fashion and the everything that Blackness brings, because
you gotta think about it too. Think about it. And this is why, it's interesting with our people, because it's like, think about it. Why do you think they want you so bad? They want you so bad, and they'll pay anything for you. Think about why. What does that mean to you? That means that clearly you're worth something. You're worth something.
The Blackness is worth
something. Why do they want our hair? The way how we weave our hair, the way how we wear our nails, the way how we design our clothes, the way how we talk, how we're naturally have beautiful. Yes, Shiva. You hit those notes.
Listen, that's hard.
Why do they want Nirvana so bad? Why do they want our lashes, our lips, our braid, how we braid, how we step, how we do this, our personalities, our spice?
Because it's great.
Housewives of Atlanta and Housewives of Potomac are the biggest housewives of the franchise.
With all black cast.
And they have all black cast. People in droves will watch.
Women are making
themselves to look.
Women are making. Listen, women, non-black women are making their making baby hair. They're taking their hair, cutting it so they can make
styler
baby hair.
They're trying to weave it. Hi, Kim Kardashian. Hi, Kylie Jenner. We see you trying to wave your hair.
Creating edges.
They're creating edges. Why? Black people need to stop the foolishness.
But again, we're discounting ourselves.
We're worth so much more than we really think. But we're so quick to see the dollar sign and not realizing that people are buying us up.
So for me, one of my greatest pet peeves, and Telly knows this, I hate to see when, first of all, when other black people discount other black people's blackness.
In public, to the others.
In public.
To the others.
Right.
That's not right.
And I also hate when black people discount themselves for their blackness.
Okay.
Because that's not helping none of us.
No.
When you come along and you're like, well, I'm just like, this like black person, and I need the money, and okay, I'll I'm gonna go get a chemical peel and see I don't know. And,
if you guys can see Garcia's
blue
face.
contact lenses.
Go ahead.
You know, do all the things, try to lose weight so I can be as skinny as Kate Moss. Like, do all these things to get as close as you possibly can
to something that you will never be.
To Holly.
You are not Holly.
Holly from Finland.
Holly is Swedish.
Yeah.
And she has that body type.
Like, it bothers me because I'm like, you're discounting your blackness, man.
Yeah, because people will pay big dollars to have our butts.
To look like, yeah.
They'll dye their. We've seen this on Instagram. Young people are taking the concealer that's darker and painting their face, doing pure blackness and posing for Fashion Nova. I'm an influencer because they're dying to be black.
Yet black influencers, and I put that in quotation, are somehow giving up the right to own blackness for a few dollars. Okay, this is why that word discounting is such an important word. I almost want us to pause on that for a second. The idea of discounting our blackness when there are others who are trying to do everything to own a part of blackness. I'm confused.
So confused.
I am
very confusing
as well.
It's very frustrating.
I don't even know if this works, but first I want to say thank you, Radio Regent, for again giving us this opportunity to be on your lovely radio station. We enjoy sharing every week with our fans and followers. So thank you so much, Radio Regent, for giving us a platform to share the good news that is not your typical girl talk. We love you guys. Thank you. And what I wanted to mention, and maybe the timing is just right, but we had a certain pop star after, like, I don't know, literally like 20 years ago almost.
20 odd years who apologized?
Janet Jackson and Britney Spears for the foolishness that he had put women, a white woman and then a black woman through, so misogyny and racism.
Yeah.
And just apologizing now for
just now.
I'm like, dude, do you have a movie coming out or something? Because why now? Why not 10
The only reason why he did it now is because the receipts are coming out. That's it. The receipts are coming out, and people are like, "Yo, JT, you owe Janet Jackson an apology.
You know he has a
You
movie.
owe Britney Spears an apology." Because while they were going through their hell, he sat back like a king, going like, "Well, these girls, not my problem.
He has.
I'm white, and I'm this. I'm that."
I bet you there's a movie coming out this
movie, an album, a book, a self-help, a new
something will happen because we have someone who made a lot, like he made a lot of money off of dating Britney Spears. I won't even step into that. I'm not going to step into that yet because
Timbaland.
Even our hair pattern, for heaven's sake, the boy had it.
The boy had
anyways. But I don't.
Black people think that boy had a dance.
Let me get to
Timbaland.
Let me get to this point because right now he didn't apologize to Timbaland. He apologized to these two women. So I'm going to talk about the two women. But you know, he made a lot of money and record sales also off of dating Britney Spears. And then when they broke up, he was very quick to go on every single radio station and made her look like she cheated on his ass. And the poor thing probably was going through some major stress and eventually, you know, was diagnosed with bipolar sickness, disease. And then we have Janet, who had him show up in her Super Bowl performance.
Super Bowl,
which was the great, you know, Super Bowl stage is the greatest stage for any artist.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes their career, it makes them, it's a part of their legacy, it's iconic. And he went on there and basically embarrassed the hell out of her and milked that for years and years and years and years.
Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know about Titgate. Yes, you did, bro. Yes, you did. And then he blamed the industry because I started reading the apology, and then all I saw was the industry because the industry sets up white male. I'm sorry. From the moment you're born, you have white male privilege. What does the industry have anything to do with that? The industry made you not apologize.
No.
Did they put a gun to his head?
He could have decided right before that second to say, you know what, I'm just gonna go like this and not.
Or how about not grab her at all?
No, he didn't have to grab her, but he could have just still did the dance and not
touch her.
You know what I mean? Like, the industry had nothing to do with what he decided to do. At the end of the day, it's you. You are at cause. You decide. You decide. I always say this to people all the time. I'm like, you decide, man. You had a choice. You had a choice. And Mr. Timberlake, Justin, had a choice and he made the wrong decisions. And his apology wasn't really an apology because he didn't say, yo, this is my fault. I'm the one that did it. I was wrong. I didn't see any of those phrases within his apology. And after being married for so long, after this happened like 20 years ago, like, come on, dude, you knew, and you profited off of
Thank you. That part.
And racism.
You profited off of blackness.
Yeah.
Let's see. You profited off of blackness, and you took one of our most most iconic female artists and embarrassed the hell out of her, and then turned around and said, "You know that episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta? Who said that? Who said that? That was one of those moments.
You said that.
Who said that? That was Justin Timberlake. What, 17 years ago? Who did that? Who did that? You did, dude. It's too late. You profited off of blackness, and now you want to say your story? We're good. We're gone. Bye, boy.
And
please crawl back into the hole you came out of.
And that is my thing. My thing is that, you know, if you're going to do these things and you're going to apologize, make your apology sensible.
It should have happened 17 years ago.
And be as current as possible, because I'm pretty sure he's had about 6 trillion interviews since.
There are billions of 17-year-olds right now even asking, who the hell is Justin Timberlake?
Thank you. there are 15-year-olds children that are like, wait, what?
But they know who Janet is. Like, oh wait, I know Janet.
Well, yeah,
Jackson.
because you know,
she's iconic.
I'll even give it to Britney. Britney is iconic.
But
Janet is super duper extra iconic queen of pop. And you, with your crusty ramen hair, have decided.
And ramen hair.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's true. You can go like 17 years later from today.
Yeah, I'll apologize.
Yeah, you can apologize 17 years later. Catch you in 2038, and we'll give you an apology. Thank you, Radio Region, for giving us this platform where in 2038 she can apologize. Because the reality is, this, you know, but again, I'm going to be like you, devil's advocate. I'm not going to blame Justin. We gave him an entry. We're constantly giving entry into our culture and then get mad when people take it and profit off of it. Listen, there are certain cultures, they don't give you entry. There's a secret passcode, word code, everything before you can get anywhere near their culture. But we're like, come on in. Come, we'll show you the dance. We'll show you the dance. We'll show you everything. No.
Rich. Because there's a secret code for you to get in, and because you can't just idly jump in, you look at that culture and you're in like, oh my God, you have so much respect for it. But like we were saying, it's really dry when, I'll speak for all culture, it's really dry when we're so quick to take the white kid and bring them into R&B, but the black kid that can sing it left, right, and center, we push them into the closet saying, no, you're not it. We want to see this little white boy and push him in front because he's gonna make us look good. And you call it blue-eyed soul. But yet the black kid, who is, what is he not black enough? I don't understand. Why is he being pushed into the wilderness? And you welcome in this kid, and then when that kid grows up and takes advantage and puts us under the bus, you want to yell and say, oh, Black Lives, It's like, well, you brought him in. You invited the enemy into your camp. You invited them.
Because let me tell you, country music isn't so quick as we saw with Little Nas X to just say, come on in. I remember because again, I love
country music.
Yeah, but
and that's where I was gonna go, girl.
Yeah.
So that's where I was gonna go because I'm a big fan of reality shows.
Yeah.
And K Michelle, if you hear K Michelle sing, like K Michelle has a very country twang. She talks about the fact that she fell in love with country music, but the reality is K Michelle would never be looked as a country music artist. The country music, like again, thank God for people who are so open or like you can sing, come on in. But there are many genres and many areas and many cultures who are like, no, we want to retain our culture, and letting you in does not allow us to do so. But again, like you said, we're just like, come on in, everybody. And then we get mad when everybody else profits off of our culture. Enough.
Agree.
I do have like, and I don't know if this is me playing devil's advocate on top of devil's advocate, but I've always heard this, and so born in Canada, but raised by Jamaican parents, or two older sisters born in Jamaica. There's always been this belief, and I've heard the very words from other Jamaicans where they're like, we like it when other people love and enjoy our culture.
Yes.
We love. That's why Caravana was created, so that everybody could see how great Caribbean culture is.
Yes.
And we love to see other people celebrate our culture.
Right.
And I bring this up because even though I'm over it, but I'm gonna bring it up.
Right.
We had Adele who was enjoying herself at a festival, and her hair was in Bantu knots, and she was wearing a Jamaican bikini
with the Jamaican flag,
and she was just out here in these streets,
enjoying
herself at this whatever kind of Caribbean festival.
I think it was
Now, I went through the comments and I saw a lot of that same thing that I just mentioned. A lot of people saying, leave her alone.
Yeah, a lot of Jamaicans
this is what we love to see. We want to see everybody celebrate our culture and d. So now I leave it to y'all.
Here's the thing. I had to even put my mic in my mouth. Listen, as a Jamaican, I get that out of many one people. That is our motto. Jamaicans' motto is out of many one people. And I will tell you that until coming to Canada at 9 years old, I didn't even know I was Black because of the fact that I grew up in a very multicultural, home. With that said, however, letting people enjoying your culture and giving them the secret recipe is two different things. There is a reason you do not have certain secret recipes, okay? You cannot go and find out how many spices and what spices and how much quantity they do to put out dirty Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Right.
You cannot find out what the spices they use, okay, for Popeye's chicken. They will let you in. They will give you a little bit of it. They will give you a taste, but they're not writing down directions step by step of how to do it, and that is our problem. We let us in, let them in, let them enjoy. But why are you always giving out the secret recipe? I'm sorry. Keep that in your grandma's vault in our brassiere. Put it in our brassiere and leave it alone. I'm sorry. I heard you. I heard
all
a word.
of that.
I heard a word.
All of that and then some.
I heard a word. And I do believe, because right now, more than ever, we see a lot of Blackness making money for people that are not white but non-Black. So I hate to bring it up because I know people, if this got out, people would be angry with me, but I'm gonna say it. K-pop. I'm gonna bring K-pop into this. Now, here we are. This is actually no different than, say, a Justin Timberlake situation, where now I'm hoping that they do pay their manager and their choreographers and their stylists, because we all know what color they are.
Oh yeah.
We all know
especially the choreographer.
The wizard behind the curtain is a bunch of really funky
blackity black black black
blackity black black black.
Those are the people that create these images and these stars that we see out there that kids are dancing to right now. K-pop is out of my age demographic, but I know of it, of course, because I'm always staying on top of things. Right. But we look at that and I say to myself, well, I hope you're paying the right people, and I hope you're paying them at standard and higher rate.
They're not even paying BTS, okay? Much more the people that were behind the scenes. They're a machine. This band is probably manufactured. I'm sure they're manufactured. Yeah. And there's like 17 members. So they rotate them like it's literally a sweatshop. And they rotate them. And because they all have the same hairstyle, they make them up to look the same. You don't know who is who, really. And they're not getting paid. The people that are behind them are not getting paid. They're probably getting paid with the clothes they wear. And the label, they're the ones collecting all the dough. BTS isn't getting no money.
Yeah.
And off of black
people's back.
That again, because we gave them the step-by-step instruction. I'm sorry. Like
this is how you become cool.
Absolutely.
This is how you become a cool pop star. This is how you become Michael Jackson.
I remember you told me that.
Prince.
Yep. I remember you told me when they were working with Justin Bieber. Yeah. They took all of Michael Jackson's history from when he was a child to his adult.
Yeah, and they mapped it out.
And they mapped it out as to how to fashion Justin Bieber. So, okay, Michael Jackson did this at this age. So, okay, Justin, we're going to do this with you. Because they wanted him to be a white Michael Jackson. Yeah. In the format of his career. Right.
So he definitely got the secret recipe.
They gave it to him.
And even now, he complains because he's not included in the R&B category at the Grammys. He's like, I'm not a pop star. I'm an R&B artist.
That's what he said. Justin Bieber.
R&B. Rhythm and blues category.
Black.
He wants to be in the black category. But anyways, I'm stopping right there because I could literally go on.
That's another episode right
there.
But
what I do want to say as my takeaway is that we have to start setting up boundaries. We have to start seeing where are we putting our black energy. If you are a black person that helps people become more successful, look at your roster. Look who you're helping. Are you only helping people of a lighter persuasion, or are you helping people that look like you? As black people, talented, whatever you do, you have to set those boundaries and always know. And it's your responsibility, man. I know you want to say it's not, but it actually is your responsibility.
My takeaway is to know your worth. If someone is wanting something from you all the time, they keep on seeing you with that water bottle, for example, and they're like, how much is that water bottle? And you keep on saying, oh, it's not for sale. You start to think, wait a minute, why is everyone asking me how much this thing is? That means this thing must be worth something. Your skin, everything on you, you're valuable. Blackness is valuable. Don't be so quick to just sell it out. Know your worth and know that your blackness is gold. No matter what anyone tells you. That's my takeaway.
All of that. And I will say that word discount, I'm going to go back to it. Stop discounting yourself. Because the reality is when you then discount yourself and give out the secret sauce and the secret recipe, you don't get it back. You don't get the opportunity to go back at a higher cost, okay? So you don't get to say something is worth $9.99 and then turn around the next month and try to sell it for $17.99. You've already said it's $9.99. So we keep discounting ourselves and then giving people the secret sauce and going, but why? But why can't I? No, that's enough. So if you are listening to this and you're a member of the Caravana Committee, you need to go and talk to the people at BBTN, and you need to talk to the people who run the Black Diamond Ball, because those things are blackity black, 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 and we show up to them because they're blackity black, 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 and we can show up in our authentic blackity black, black, black self. And maybe you need to tell the city, I guess what? Until you guys can actually respect what we do for the city, we're gonna put this on pause.
Thank you. Maybe they should maybe Caravana should find TD Bank.
I know, because TD Bank is out here in these streets, accepting of the Black Diamond Ball and the B.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and for watching. Once again, a big thanks to Radio Region. A huge thanks to iHeartRadio. I am here with my girl Kertia and Toshiba. I am Kelly. Follow us on all social media at Not Your Typical Girl Talk. Until next week, everyone.
Namaste. Goodbye.